Today I am talking about the power Haoshuku Haki, which translates to color of the supreme king, but I like to just go with Conquerors Haki. It is said whoever possesses this ability have the qualities of the king and are known as the supreme rulers. The Dark King Silver's Rayleigh explains Conquerors Haki cannot be trained, it can only be strengthened by the individual's personal growth. So Shanks one-shotting Kid with Divine Departure might be the personal growth he needs. Okay, jokes aside, let's do a deep dive on Conquerors Haki. The very first time we ever see Conquerors Haki is in the beginning of One Piece, chapter 1. We see this technique used to scare the Sea King of Luffy's hometown by Red Hair Shanks, and it makes me think how Conquerors Haki's first time showing and many times in the series has been to tame beasts, to tame animals. Nearly 500 chapters later, we see Luffy uses the technique for the very first time, taming Motobaru, or if you guys want to call Duval's car, aka Cow, eventually putting down the creature. Luffy also scared the wolves of level 5 Empel down and eventually knocked them down as well. After the time skip, Luffy is purposely now taming creatures with his haki, like the Kraken during the voyage to Fishman Island, or the sea monster which is raising his hand. And finally, Wano, Hihimaru, is tamed by Luffy in the beginning of this arc, really showcasing how this Conquerors Haki ability is used to tame animals. Now, enough of the boring taming animals examples. What Conquerors Haki is really known for is putting people to sleep, and again, Red Hair Shanks showcased this first when meeting his fellow Yonko Whitebeard, damaging the Moby Dick while putting some Whitebeard pirates to sleep. Without any determination, there is no way you can stay conscious in front of that man. And an amazing haki as always when referring to Shanks boarding Whitebeard's ship, in which Shanks replied, "It's still an enemy ship, my bad," where even Yuge stated his haki being in full force yet coming in peace is laughable. The Pirate King Goldie Roger's first mate and Luffy's mentor, the Dark King Silver's Rayleigh, is introduced knocking out the slave auction manager Disco with a blast of Conquerors Haki, in which the giant notices. Shout out to Elbaf, if you know, you know. After Rayleigh knocks out the soldiers fighting the Straw Hat Pirates, they wonder if this ability is demonic, a Delphoid ability, or magic, in which Hachi replies, "It's haki." Luffy again uses this haki to save Ace from being executed, and side note where Ace is confirmed to also have this terrifying ability. These are words, not mine. We understand why ever since Wano. And Portgas D. Ace using this power to save Luffy as a kid was very poetic. Luffy after the time skip is now knocking out people consciously like the fake Straw Hat Luffy, or the 50,000 fishmen that went to sleep as soon as the battle began versus Hody. Oda even clarifies that Shanks and Rayleigh would have took out all 100,000 of the soldiers on Fishman Island with their level of Conquerors Haki in volume 65 SBS, and added onto this power by saying you can focus on certain individuals when you improve your Conquerors Haki, and who you knock down is determined by the gap in power. Case in point, Shanks, of course, Vice Admiral manga, film read. It's not canon, but it's definitely a reference point. Now, technically, Fishman Island is not the New World, so our first time seeing people go night-night in the New World was none other than Doflamingo, who knocks out some of the infamous G5 Marines. The Yonko Big Mom not only was knocking out people at the Tea Party with their Conquerors Haki, she also destroyed the KX launcher Worst Generation Captain Capone Gang Bijay intended to kill her with. Our first time seeing someone knock out people is Luffy after his fight with Kaido, and again, side note where Eustace Kid is revealed to be a Conquerors Haki user, which we will never see him use it apparently. The son of Kaido, Yamato, uses it as a child when she was referenced as the Oni Princess while being chained up, giving some beast pirates an early bedtime, which is impressive. And don't forget, Big Mom's Conquerors Haki was knocking out beast pirates on the same room as her while fighting Eustace Kid and Law, where even Usopp pretended it was him using that Conquerors Haki. Zoro's first time using Conquerors Haki consciously had some beast pirates asleep, and King realized Zoro intends to be a king or had kingly ambition. And lastly, Shanks' Conquerors Haki was so strong he was knocking out his own crewmates at the end of Wano. Now, Conquerors Haki does have implications in the story of being inheriting through your own family lineage. Case in point, Garp stating Luffy was born with the ability, or Vice Admiral, or HQ Vice Admiral to be exact, stating Luffy to be the son of Monkey D. Dragon, and not surprised he has that ability. Even more direct is Eva, after witnessing this impressive power from Luffy, says, "No mistake, you have dragon's blood." Now, examples of this in the story are Kaido and the Oni Princess Yamato, Goldie Roger and the Pirate King's son Ace, also Big Mom and the second son Katakuri, though there are cases like Doflamingo which goes against this theory of inherited Conquerors Haki. Now we are getting to the fun part of this ability, where the rarest of rare in the One Piece world clash, like Shanks and Whitebeard splitting the heavens with their Conquerors Haki. Don Chinjal surprises all with the first Conquerors Haki clash in the New World, and this old legend who used to battle the likes of Prime Garp asks Luffy, "What king do you want to be?" in which Luffy replies, "The Pirate King." Don Chinjal then goes on to tell Luffy, even among Conquerors Haki users, the Pirate King is a bitter struggle. We see an even better showcase of this with Luffy versus Doflamingo, which shocked Treble, who states Doflamingo is chosen to be king because of his Conquerors Haki. Big Mom and Kaido are the first splitting skies clash of the New World, which makes sense, them being original Yonko, like the first scene with Shanks and Whitebeard. Speaking of Whitebeard, when he clashed with Roger in their prime, the entire island felt it. We see Kaido and Luffy mimic this with their weapons not touching, and Yamato confirms from Oden's journal that the sky was split like Roger and Whitebeard. Probably the main reason this ability is so important is the coding of Conquerors Haki, or Advanced Conqerors Haki as dubbed in the One Piece community, as seen with Roger and Whitebeard that had Oden shocked that their weapons were not touching, or like Kaido showed on the rooftop with Conqueror of the Three Worlds Ragnarok, the move that triggered Luffy understanding this advanced technique. Luffy, who learns his technique, gets told by Kaido only a handful could do it, showing how rare and important it is in combat. We see a clash and 2 clean hits by Luffy with this Conquerors Haki coding that makes Law react the same way Oden did. They're not touching. Big Mom knocks out Page 1 in one blow with her Advanced Conquerors Haki, and we also see Luffy block with his fist and clash with his kick in Conquerors Haki coding. Such an amazing showcase. Yamato uses it versus Kaido multiple times, once in the Thunder Bagua clash and the other with Luffy, Snake Man also using it. We see King of Hell mode Zoro defeat King with this technique, using it multiple times in the end of their battle. Rayleigh pulled up on Blackbeard, also highlighted his Advanced Conquerors Haki. But all these amazing showcases of Haki, I will say this, I will never forget Oda emphasizing Gear 5th having Luffy oozing in Conquerors Haki when he first awakened, and eventually beating Kaido with it, as Kaido stated the impressive showing of Conquerors Haki coding. Or Kaido, amidst the fighting, reveals Roger had no Delphoid ability and that Haki was the determining factor in being the strongest. Haki reigns over Delphoid abilities, Haki reigns over all. Now we are seeing Oda state Red Hair Shanks to be the Observation Haki killer with his Conquerors Haki, or the named attack like Paradise Totsuka, Ashura, and Divine Departure by the Pirate King himself that sent Oden flying, and the same move that one-shot a 3 billion berry man off fighting the likes of Kaido and Big Mom and tanking numerous Yonko level attacks was still one-shotted by Shanks. Or when Red Hair paralyzed an animal with his Conquerors Haki at the end of Wano. Now we know that the top Conquerors Haki users are Roger, Whitebeard, Shanks, Oden, Kaido, Luffy, Big Mom, Rayleigh, Zoro, because they've been shown to coat their attacks with Conquerors Haki. And other notable users are Ace, Doflamingo, Chinjao, and Katakuri, who have clashed and used the ability at a young age. And finally, there is Boa, Son Goku, and Eustace Could, who have been, of course, confirmed yet never to showcase it in the manga, especially Eustace Kid. Also want to highlight this panel moving forward of Akainu, Kizaru, Mihawk, Ace, and Garp, which really stood out to me of them reacting to Conquerors Haki. And don't be surprised to see some of these individuals, or even all these individuals that have this ability. We already know that Ace is confirmed to have it, so the others in this panel could confirm to have Conquerors Haki. Watch my Strongest Creatures Underrated video to see Kaido power scaled properly, and peace out.